4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right.
Welcome to Experience Michiana. I'm the show's producer, Kelsey Zumrin. Thank you so much for being with us. We're excited to get out and experience 2022 together. And on today's show, we are going to experience a lot of learning and camps and all kinds of exciting things. The South Bend Winter of Learning is happening with the St. Joseph County Library as well as the City of South Bend, a partnership there. And Dave has that for us. We are also going to find out about Winter Fling, which is a program that's happening at St. Patrick's County Park for families with preschoolers, as well as the Smithsonian Museums along the Grand Mall in Washington have always put out wonderful summer camps, but now they have virtual opportunities for us right here in the Michiana area to experience as well. But first of all, Elvis has entered the building. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Elvis has returned to the building. One of our favorite friends here at Experience Michiana, Doug Church, is here to join us. You may not recognize him as Doug. You might recognize him as Elvis. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
Now, you've been around for quite some time, and you've been doing Elvis impersonations for a while. How long have you been doing it for?
Let's just say a long time.
We'll go with that one. How did you get started doing this?
Well, that's a great story, really. When I was in high school, I loved singing the songs of the King. And then when I got into the service shortly after, I found out that they had talent contest. And so I decided that I'd try my hand at it as Elvis. And it just really worked out great for me. It gave me a lot of experience with audiences and the stage. And I was winning these contests. Did about, I don't know, let me see. I think there were 13 or 14 contests in 4 years. And I happened to amass 11 first place trophies and a couple of second place and even a third.
So you're really kind of known to be a very authentic voice of Elvis.
I really try to be, yes. To me, the most important thing about doing an impression of Elvis is the voice.
Well, I'm really excited to share that you are going to be putting your show Beyond 77 coming up here in Shipshewana over at the Blue Gate. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Beyond 77 is a fantasy what-if show. It's a one-man act, and it begs the question, what would Elvis have been like if he hadn't died in 1977? What if he had lived and his career went on? And so I'm basically reinventing Elvis with new music, new costumes, and sort of a new look for Elvis that might have been good for him in the 1980s. So it's about a 10-year hiatus that Elvis would have taken from 1977 to 1987, at which point he would have come back and said, hey, here I am for my second big comeback. What I'll do is I'll come out and I'll give him a half an hour of the traditional Elvis before 77. It even says it on the screen, before 77. And then there will be a lot of video enhancement, and we'll take you back in time to when Elvis passed away. And then there will be a segment where it says, what if it didn't happen that way at all? And then the news commentator comes back on and says that Elvis has canceled all his performances and decided to check himself into the hospital. And I'm not going to give you any more than that. I want to keep it as a surprise.
Don't spoil all of it.
But I will tell you this. This is a very interesting point. Your own Gordy Young helped me out with some of the video on this. And he dressed up in a 70s outfit. And
of course he did.
He came on looking very 70s, and as the commentator who says that Elvis has checked himself in and he's getting himself in shape and he's taking about 10 years off.
And now how can people get tickets for the show?
Well, you can contact the Blue Gate Music Hall. You go on to bluegate.com on their website, and you can get tickets that way. It's January 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and then February 17, 18, and 19.
Okay, so just 6 days. Those are your 6 shows, those 6 opportunities that we can come and watch you in action. What are you doing on the days that you're not being Elvis?
Well, I'm doing a lot of honeydew and, just trying to clean up everything after Christmas and booking shows for myself, I pretty much represent myself. And so it's most of the time spent in the office on the phone trying to, get that next gig going.
And you have really traveled the world. What has been some of your favorite places that you've traveled?
I'd have to say Denmark, Finland, England. I've been to Chile, which was great. I just wish that some of these places would bring me over there in the summertime.
Sure.
It gets mighty cold in Finland, I'll tell you that.
I bet it does. And how is Elvis perceived in other countries around the world?
Oh, just wonderfully. They love him. They still love him after all this time. I think it's kind of like an unrequited love that never happened. They never got to see him live. And so if there's a guy that's doing Elvis, that's the next best thing for them, and they just eat it up.
So any girls fainting in the front row?
Well, I hope not. That would make me feel bad. But actually, no, they're very appreciative and they're very respectful. And they haven't gotten really too crazy.
Okay. And now you have a number of those championship belts under your name too. What's kind of, tell me maybe one or two of your most memorable moments as an impersonator for Elvis.
Well, I would have to say that my first big contest when I was in the Air Force was in Germany. And I wasn't actually up against other Elvis impersonators. I was against lots of other performers. I mean, they were doing everything from musical duets to comedians to, whatever it was. And funny thing is that my category happened to be called musical potpourri, which means that it didn't really have a category. They just kind of threw it in there. And so I was first place in my category in a lot of these contests. But when I won first place in the regional contest in all of the European Command for the Air Force, that was a biggie. And like I said, it was my first big win.
Well, that's amazing. Absolutely. And that's that was one of your earlier ones too, that really got your ball rolling, right?
Yes, it was. And then the second big win was when I took worldwide competition in Memphis, Elvis's hometown. And I was number one for a whole year in the entire world.
That's pretty amazing. Can you give us a little tidbit of it? Can you give us like maybe a sentence or two?
Well, honey, I don't know exactly what you're trying to say, but it really meant the world to me, and it's just been a wonderful career, and I hope to keep doing it as long as I draw breath.
I love it. Well, that's amazing, Doug. I appreciate you so much. And, I think knowing that the king of rock and roll is here in the house right now, but bringing those memories back for people, I think is just such an important thing to keep that music going and to keep it in our minds and to keep it fresh. And then I love the concept of just sharing, what would it look like if we've gone beyond 77?
And I also produce a show called Salute to the Stars, which is a three-act tribute show, rather. I got that backwards. It's three different tribute artists, and I've been playing at the Bluegate since 2020. And we've had Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton. We've had Roy Orbison and Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire. And,
oh my gosh.
Kenny Rogers was with Dolly Parton for one of those shows. And that's a great place to come and see it, is at the Bluegate.
Absolutely. And you do a number of different impersonations too. Like you do different voices and things like that also?
I hear voices. That's the thing,
Well, with that, we can't wait to hear your voice coming up. So make sure you get your tickets. Again, only 6 shows coming up over in Shipshewana. We can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks very much. That's January 20, 21, and 22, and February 17, 18, and 19.
I'm here in downtown South Bend at the all-new public library. This place is absolutely amazing. And this winter, they're going to be doing something even better. I'm here with Nora Alwalan. Nora, Winter of Learning. Tell me about that. What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's an initiative that's a result of a partnership between the St. Joe County Public Library and the City of South Bend's Technology Resource Center. Mm-hmm. And our hope really is to kind of provide a series of programming for adults, as the new year is starting. A lot of people have new life goals, the things they want to take on, and so we're providing a lot of different kinds of workshops and classes, as well as a new idea that we're launching, which is our learning circles.
Now, you're the marketing and engagement specialist with Bendable. For anyone watching who doesn't know what Bendable is, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bendable is our learning platform that the library launched, I would say, June of 2020. And so it's essentially a place where kind of our solution to, you've always been able to come to the library and check out a book. Now you can check out a class. And so there's over 2,000 classes on there, resources that some offer even college credit and professional certifications, completely free with your library card. We have a few things that do come with a cost. Those are usually classes offered through the local community colleges or local universities, things like that. But the overwhelming majority of our offerings are completely free. And yeah, we've had a lot of people get, almost associate's degree level certifications without paying a penny. So yeah.
Well, there's a lot of talk in the world right now that we have everything we need to learn at our fingertips, and really it's there. And although college is still a great way to go about education, there's many ways to educate yourself. And there is an air of optimism on social media right now with people, and maybe it's the new year, New Year's resolutions, but what are some of the standout kind of things that you can learn that would kind of come to mind for you? Because you said there's like thousands of things you can learn. Is there anything that's really unique?
I would say definitely the ones that offer college credit and professional certifications for free. There's not a lot of places that offer that. Our hope really was to try and build as robust of a platform as possible, because we went out and asked people, what do you like to learn? How do you like to learn it? And what barriers or challenges do you face when learning? And so we kind of took all of that together. And so we have some stuff that is more career focused, like, you can get an electrician license or certification, or, you could learn about data analytics. We have something for everybody. But then we also have some things for fun. I learned how to fix my bike.
Nice.
We have a couple music classes. We also have a lot of different writing courses, because it's the library. We have a lot of people who like to write here. But yeah, there's something for everybody for sure.
I'm really terrible at doing stuff around the house. Is there anything for things like that? Because if there is, and my wife watches this, she's going to make me come do it.
I would say there is for sure. We have at least the stuff that you can do on your own time online. So we have a couple things about, plumbing and things like that. Like if you just want to learn the basics, some basics of woodworking.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff on there.
So I know that Learning Circles will be a big part of this. Can you tell me exactly what Learning Circles is?
Sure. So think of a book club, but instead of reading a book, everybody's taking a class together.
Nice.
The topics that we have focused on for the Winter of Learning for the next 2 months are creating a business plan, how to build a website, how to be better with money, and then a technology basics one for folks who might want to learn, how to use Zoom or how to set up an email, things like that. And that's really to try and meet everybody's different needs, as we heard from people. And our hope is after these 2 months, we'll be able to add on a lot more with a lot of different topics. So if you have ideas, please reach out to us, send those to us, and we'll try and create a learning circle.
So will these be online, in person, or a mixture of both?
So it's really just dependent on the folks who attend. So as people sign up, we send an email out to them and ask them, do you prefer to be virtual or do you prefer to be in person? And for the folks who want to be in person, would you rather meet here at the library or at the Technology Resource Center or at any of our other 10 branches?
So this is actually a partnership. It's not just the library. I know the city has programs as well. Can you tell me about some of them?
Absolutely. So the city is hosting their SB Academy course. So that's essentially going to be courses throughout every month. So there's one in January, one in February, and one in March. And the one in January is going to be kind of an intro to Excel, if you want to learn how to work with Excel, and then it'll be a kind of more advanced as you go along. And then they're also hosting the Self-Made, Self-Taught Talk series, where they're bringing on self-taught entrepreneurs to talk about their stories. And I think the next one is on January 25th. It's, I think, midday at the Technology Resource Center, and it's going to be with the founder of Important Joe's. I don't know if you've seen their coffee company around town.
I know Joseph. He's an awesome entrepreneur.
Yeah, his story is really interesting, and you'll be able to come in and hear him speak, and then also ask questions about if you're interested in starting your own business.
I grew up in a lower income family. And one thing that I've realized is there is a lot of barriers for people. And there's barriers for people of all incomes. And sometimes there's mental barriers. Like people have a lot of great ideas, but putting together the business plan or the website, they've got these ideas that could really help them create their own businesses, but having these extra tools really just gets them over those hurdles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Our hope is that by the function of it being kind of like a book club, it's not necessarily a class. You're not dealing with the same kind of like you come in and someone teaches you something and then you leave. You're learning together. And so someone might be really good at this one, like they really know how to do a market analysis or something like that for a business plan, but they might not know anything about like what legal entity they should do or what kind of filings they need to do, all this stuff. Everybody will learn together. And we do have facilitators who have a background in this topic to be able to help guide people find resources, things like that. So really it's just creating that kind of supportive environment.
Love that.
And, removing that kind of scariness of, I'm not going back to school. It's not like a class. Like, you're just meeting up with other people who also share your interests.
Yeah, and it's not intimidating. It's done in a way that's fun and formal, and you can all support each other. And of course, once the classes are over, you probably have lifelong friends then that as you're all going on this journey together, you'll keep helping each other well beyond the winter of learning.
Yeah, that's our hope. My hope is, you take the creating a business plan, and then maybe the next learning circle you do is like marketing or finance or something like that. And you just like learn different things together. Our hope is to really have returning patrons.
So if there's people watching right now, but they feel a bit snowed under with life, but they'd like to start something in a couple of months, but not right now, is there ways to do that in the future, or is Winter of Learning just very specific to right now?
I would say, honestly, we have a very robust kind of calendar of programming throughout the year.
Okay.
So if, January and February are not it for you, you could start in March. We are currently working on designing and planning those programs, and so we're going to have workshops for every age at all times. I think a lot of people associate the library with a lot of things for kids, but we have a lot of offerings for adults. So yeah, just go to our website, sjcpl.org, and you'll be able to find programs. And you could always just learn on your own time at Bendable. So that's southbend.bendable.com.
Well, Nora, thank you so much. Thanks for all you're doing. And there may be somebody watching this right now who has an idea but is intimidated, because it is very intimidating to go from an idea to making it a business. There's a lot of different things that you have to go through. And I know that's just one aspect of what you're doing, but continued learning and being able to do it in a way like this, and for free in most cases, is really wonderful. So thank you for all you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm joined by Amel, who is from the St. Joseph County Parks. Amel, tell me a little bit about what's going on at one of my favorite local parks, St. Patrick's County Park.
At St. Patrick's County Park, we are waiting for snow, and we're crossing our fingers because I know there's a chance of snow coming up. And so we're just hoping that it amounts to enough that we can do our skiing programs and our upcoming inner tubing programs.
Yes, there has been a lack of snow, which, as somebody who's not originally from here, I'm from Ireland, and we don't get a lot of snow. So I still get very excited about snow, but most people locally, not so much. But you're also hosting a winter fling program for families with preschoolers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, we know that sometimes our inner tubing hill, if it's full of people, it can be a little intimidating for little kids. And so we wanted to have a special event where the tubing hill would be reserved for families with preschoolers, and we would also have a variety of other outdoor winter activities that are perfect for that age group. Provide some snacks, we'll have a campfire. So we just like to have a good family experience for folks.
So when is this happening and what time?
So this is happening on Thursday, January 27th. It's 10 to noon, and it's in the Brown Barn at St. Patrick's County Park, which is where we normally do our inner tube rental. It's right by the tube hill.
You know, I feel like St. Patrick's County Park, I used to live right beside it, and it quickly became one of my favorite parks, not just because it was close by, but I feel like it's one of our hidden gems around South Bend.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, that park, everything from the bald eagle nest to the river itself, forests, fields, ponds, fishing opportunities. It is just an absolutely wonderful place. I feel like there's something for everyone there.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we actually featured the bald eagle nest on Experience Michiana before. And we also, like the 9/11 Memorial is there as well, which is really nice and really pretty. So for families, is there certain ages? You said preschoolers. Is there any cost for families to do this?
There is a cost. It's $5 for the whole family. And that includes all the activities, the inner tubes, and the time on the hill, snacks. Everything's going to be outdoors, but there is a warming room available in case you get cold and you need to go inside. And obviously there's bathrooms available. We do ask for advanced registration though. So we need people to call us ahead of time and let us know if they're coming.
Okay, and I do have to ask, because I've been in there so many times, does that $5 for the family, does that include like getting into the park for parking as well?
Yes, there's no gate fee. It's just the fee for the program itself.
Okay, and $5 for an entire family is really awesome. So you said you do want people to register in advance. So if there's parents listening right now or grandparents who want to bring along their preschoolers, what's the phone number to call?
They should call 574-654-3155 and we'll get you signed up.
All right, so that's St. Patrick's County Park hosting their winter fling on Thursday, January 27th, because it is for families with preschoolers. It's between 10 a.m. and noon. We just want lots of snow before January 27th. All right, well, Amel, thank you so much for coming on Experience Michiana, and I hope lots of families sign up and get out of the house and enjoy some winter activities.
Let's hope. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, we all know how important it is for us to learn, especially our kids, and we're always looking for unique ways to do that. And speaking of unique ways, the Smithsonian is doing in-person and online camps. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring it to you here, because even people here in cold Indiana have a chance to be a part of this wonderful experience. And joining us today to talk to us about it is Bridget. And Bridget, you're the director of the Smithsonian Summer Camp. So what is that like? First, let's talk about the in-person camps. Why do you guys do this? And what is it like for people to come and experience the Smithsonian? Is it like the movie?
Well, everybody asks us that question, and I always respond that if you ever see something come alive, you come talk to me,
right?
And then we'll go from there. But it is an immersive experience to be a part of the Smithsonian and to come at the camps here on ground, as we like to say, here on the National Mall. It is an opportunity for you to use the museums, immerse with the collections, the ideas, the research that we have going on here all the time, and to be able to discover everything that we have to offer. We bring the Smithsonian alive through the challenges, visits to the museum, meeting with experts, talking to people, using our research skills, and we develop things and activities and projects throughout the week that then, culminate either in a show and share for parents or friends and family, put on an exhibit, do a show, anything that kind of culminates the whole entire immersive experience that we have going on throughout the week. So that is kind of the day-to-day. We do that for 8 hours here on the National Mall. It starts at 9 a.m. in the morning and it goes all the way to 5 o'clock. And it allows your child to work in a group of similar age children. Usually we have 2 teachers and then our 2 youth teaching assistants, which are 15 years old and older kids who come and join us. And they help with not only the logistics of getting camp happening, but also work with the teachers to bring the camp alive and to get involved with the kids. Go to the exhibits and they get to see all the objects. They discover new ways of making also connections pan-institutionally, which is a big word here that we use here at the Smithsonian. But as we have 19 museums, the idea is that to make connections through each of the individual museums. So you can talk about a variety of subjects, but you could look at one subject and make connections with the objects in all the different museums. So that is part of their experience. And then of course, Washington is so very, very rich, and the area around us in Virginia and Maryland as well is very rich with other museums and other monuments and other places to visit that of course can also support the ideas that we're trying to put forward.
Now, I've had a chance to go along the mall and experience a good fair share of the museums with the Smithsonian, and there's just so much, and it just draws you right in. So I'm thankful for that opportunity. But for our viewers here locally, beyond being able to maybe have a chance to do that in person, one of the blessings of COVID, if you want to call it that, is that we've found creative ways to make things accessible for people who otherwise couldn't have experienced it. And you guys have created online programs that people can experience the Smithsonian and learn still. So tell us a little bit about those.
Well, I guess it is thanks to COVID. It's kind of weird to say that we were kind of pushed off the cliff and said, we had a full array of on the ground camps that were ready to go. And then of course, COVID happened. So we had to figure out very, very quickly how to turn that around to virtual opportunities. So we created a 2-hour or 1 hour, depending on the age of your child, opportunity to do exactly the same things that we do in our on-ground camps, as well as doing them online. So you're going to meet experts. You're going to talk about themes that are inherent to the Smithsonian and our collections. You're going to discover challenges. We'll just do them a little off camera versus on camera. It is in a small setting. So again, you're going to get the 2 teachers who are going to communicate with you, and it's live. They're talking to you. They're able to communicate with you. The kids are able to communicate back and with each other. So it's an opportunity to embrace the idea of a classroom without being on a classroom. And then it is also the idea of the Smithsonian, and, whether it's dinosaurs or oceans, or we're looking at history or the stars, we're again immersing ourselves in those objects in the collections.
That's just such an amazing opportunity that people have. And unlike the day camps, it's something that people from across the country can actually be a part of. So how do people connect with you? How do they register? I would assume they have to register for the camps. There's only so much space. How do they do that?
You can go to Smithsonian Associates, or you can just Google Smithsonian Summer Camp, and on the Smithsonian, and you'll click there, and it'll get you right to our website, which has all the information about our both virtual and our on-the-ground camps, as well as if you have a child that is going to be here in Washington and wants to be a youth teaching assistant, again, sign them up. They get volunteer hours. I know that some of the schools require that for graduation. So, we offer that as well. And
And for those of you at home, if you want direct links to those camps and be able to sign up, we'll have those on the experiencemichiana.org website. Bridget, thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck with all the camps.
Thank you so very much. And I hope you all get to join us online. We'd love to have you. Thanks.
That's it for today's show. We're so thankful that you've been along with us as we get out and explore all the things that you can do in Michiana. Remember, if you have ideas of things that we'd love to experience and share with our audience, hit us up on Facebook, give us a mention there, or while you're out experiencing things, use the hashtag ExperienceMichiana and we'll find it that way too. Well, until next week, where we get to explore even more, have a great weekend, guys.
Experience Michiana is made possible in part by the Community Foundation of St. Joseph County and the Indiana Arts Commission, which receives support from the state of Indiana and the National Endowment for the Arts.
This WNIT local production has been made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.